Good day, sir. So I'm Jose Pascual Romangay Dorado, and this is my final exam in non-institutional correction or CA2. And then the test is for through video presentation, and last one is discussion. Number one, discuss the Section 4 grant of provision. Section 4 of the Provision of Law in the Philippines outlines provisions related of granting provision to convicted defendants. Under this section, the trial court has the authority to grant provision to a defendant who has been convicted and sentenced to a probationable penalty. The defendant can apply provision within the period of perfecting an appeal of the court provides the application. It will suspend the execution of the sentence in the place of the defendant on the provision for the specified period, subject to certain terms and conditions. However, no application of provision shall be entertained or granted if the defendant has already perfected an appeal from the judgment of conviction. Eligibility criteria disqualified certain offenders from provision, including those sentenced to serve maximum term of imprisonment exceeding 6 years, those convicted of crimes against national security, those previously granted provision under the same law, and those already serving a sentence when the law become applicable. So in summary, Section 4 allows the trial court to grant provision after conviction regardless of whether the sentence imposes imprisonment or a fine only. So number 2, discuss the Section 5 post-sentence investigation. So the Section 5 of the Provision Law of 1976 in the Philippines pertains to post-investigation or PSI, and this is the related aspects of this section. So the explanation of this section is after the defendant convicted the sentence, they can apply provision if the application is due from the applicant appears disqualified for provision. The court orders the city provincial parole and provision office within its jurisdiction to investigation report must be submitted within 60 days from receipt from the presidential decree number 968, which established the provision system. So in summary, the PSI is a crucial step determining whether the offender is eligible for provision. It involves investigating the applicant's background, criminal record, and other relevant factors to assess their suitability of provision. The court relies on the investigation to make an informed decision regarding provision eligibility. So number 3, discuss the Section 6 from the investigation report. So under the Provision Law of 1976 in the Provision Law of 1976 in the Philippines, Section 6 outlines the requirements of filing a complainant during the preliminary investigation when submitting a complainant of the following forms and documents are necessary. First, investigative data form or NPS NINV form number 1. This form should be completed and certified under the oath of the complainant. 2 copies are needed. Next, complainant affidavit or sworn statement. The complainant or victim must provide this document 5 copies along the number of respondents. Next, the affidavit sworn statements of witnesses. 5 copies of this document are required with the additional copies corresponding with the under the respondents. And this form and statements are essential for ensuring accurate documentation during the investigation process. Number 4, discuss the Section 7 period of submission of this investigation report. So under Section 7 of Provision of Law 1976 in the Philippines, the Provision Office is required to submit the investigation report on the defendant not later than 60 days from receiving the court's order to conduct the investigation. After receiving the report, the court must resolve the petition from provision within 5 days. This provision ensures timely processing, and evaluation of provision applications. I'm sorry. And number 4, discuss the Section 8 criteria for placing the offender on probation. So under Section 8, the Provision of Law 1987 in the Philippines has been determining whether the offender may be placed on probation. The court considers the following factors. First, the character. The court evaluates the offender's character, including their behavior, attitude, and moral standing. Next, antecedents. This refers to the offender's past history, criminal records, and any periods of convictions. Other one is environment. The court examines the offender's social environment, family background, and living conditions. And next is mental and physical condition. The offender's mental and physical health are taken into account. Next is available institution and commonly resources. The court consider the resources available for rehabilitation both within the institution and in the community. These criteria help the court in making informed decisions regarding provision placement, aiming to promote rehabilitation to reduce recidivism. And next, number 6, Section 9, disqualified offenders. Under Section 9 of Probation of Law in 1976, outlines the categories of disqualified offenders who are not eligible to avail themselves of the benefits of probation. First, sentenced to serve maximum term of imprisonment more than 6 years. Individuals who have received the sentence exceeding 6 years in prison are disqualified from probation. Next, convicted of any offenses against security and state. Those found guilty of crimes related to national security or public order, ineligible for provision. This criteria helps to define the boundaries of granting provision and ensure that the certain serious offense are not covered by provision system. And number 7, discuss Section 10, conditions of provision. Section 10 of Provision of Law 1976 in the Philippines outlines the condition that must be included in the provision order issued by court. These conditions apply to provision. The provisioner must present themselves to the designated provision officer for supervision within the 22 hours from receiving the provision order. This requirement ensures that the provisioner initiate contact with the provision officer promptly after being placed on provision. And number 8, discuss Section 11, effectively of provision order. So, according to provision law of 1976 in the Philippines, Section 11, the effectively of the provision orders as follows. Number 1, a provision order takes effect upon the issuance of by the court, and at the time, the court must inform the offender of the consequences of the provision order. And next, the court will explain that if the offender fails to comply within any of the conditions prescribed in the order or commits another offense, they will be required to serve the penalty imposed the original offense. In summary, once a provision order is issued, the offender must adhere to this specified condition, and any violation may result in the imposition of original penalty. And number 9, discuss the Section 12 modification of condition of provision. Section 12 of Provision of Law 1976 in the Philippines addresses the modification of conditions during the period of provision. Here's the entails during the provision period, the court has the authority to revise modify the conditions or period of the provision upon application from their provisioner, the person placed in the provision, or provision officer. This provision allows for flexibility in adjusting the terms and provision needs based on the individual circumstances or development during the probation period. And lastly, discuss the Section 13, control and supervision of probation. Section 13 of Probation Law of 1987 in the Philippines states that control and supervision of the probationer are as follows. The probationer that their probation program are under the control of court that placed them on probation. And additionally, the probationer is subject to actual supervision and visitation by the probation office. And that is my final term examination in CA2. And thank you, sir.